Da 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 da.
Welcome to the Ramble Live, Rich. I love that you put the intro in there. It feels so
I know.
real and authentic, like an actual pod episode.
I do my best. It's never enough, but I do my best.
We have great news. I can actually read the comments because I have my laptop here, and we found out I can do StreamYard on laptop and also pull up comments. So hello, everybody. We're going to be talking not only our December recap for today, but our yearly recap. We'll talk about our top 10 reads of the year, answer your questions live. We always do these usually 3 p.m. EST on Saturdays once a month. This time is a little earlier because we're having, we read Mushroom Blues this month for our book club of the month. And the author Adrian Gibson's going to join us on the book club after this. So that would be super cool.
Yep.
But hello. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely working. We got everybody here. We got John Jacob from Talking Stories. What's up, John? We have
John.
Scott, the man himself. Josh is here. Elliot. Hello, everybody. Jeff. What's up, Jeff? Excited to hear about y'all's top 10. Yes. So I guess, Rich, everybody that doesn't come to the live wants to kind of get this out of the way too. We should talk about our top 10 of the year.
I guess.
Then
everyone kept saying like, oh, when's your top 10 video? When's your top 10? We didn't want to do a top 10 video.
I mean,
but we're doing it on our
We're not going to wait for others to join because whoever got here first, they deserve it.
Yeah, they can rewind. They can go back.
Good.
I don't care.
Hey, Kendall. Hey, Cosmere. Cosmere Reviews started a new, I think a new channel recently. And
a new one?
we were his first follower on Instagram.
Sweet.
So everybody else go follow on Instagram. But do you want to start? How do you want to do this? Do you want to do your top 10, then my top 10, or we each go, hey, here's our number 10. Here's our number 9.
Let's see what people that's the whole point of a live.
Yeah.
Want us to go back and forth or just get the whole list right at once?
What do you all want? We're giving you guys a choice.
Ugh. Giving people choices. Gross.
Vera has that right. Cosmere Horizons is the channel name for the new. There we go. Yeah. Oh, so sorry. That is Cosmere Horizons. But okay, shout out to Cosmere Horizons.
Back and forth looks like it.
Thomas wants back and forth. Elliot. Okay, let's do it.
Start from 10?
We could start from 10.
All right.
These are not the books that came out in 2024. They're what we read in 2024.
Yes.
Because we've not read enough books that came out this year.
Yeah. I've also tailored my list of if a book in a series was already in my top 10.
Yeah.
I just didn't put the other one that would have also been there. So I curated the list a little bit.
Okay.
In that sense. So there are books that scored appropriately to get into the top 10, but they were in the same series.
Got it.
I did make an exception.
I can guess what that exception is. You want to start? We can start with your 10, then we'll come over to my side.
Yeah. Number 10, I had Dead House Gates.
Ooh, that hit your top 10.
It hit my top 10.
Okay.
What a huge turnaround in a book series. When I went book 1, absolutely really did not like it.
And we won't be spoiling anything for these top 10.
Book 2 was such an improvement for me. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Nice.
I thought it was great.
4 star. So you're in your top 10, 4 stars and higher made it. You didn't have enough that hit 5-star 4.5 this year.
Yep.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, again, yes, but I excluded them from the list.
Got it. My number 10, it hit the list, and Vera's here. She'll be happy, and others will be happy. The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. And no, that's not just because we interviewed him. Bumped it up a little bit. But The Blade Itself was my favorite of the trilogy. And Glocta, Giselle. I think Giselle's my favorite character from the series.
You are going to make Vera very happy on that.
Oh, yeah, that would also make her happy. But yes, so The Blade Itself hits number 10. Anybody that hasn't read The Blade Itself, if you're a character reader, he has awesome prose. We had a whole interview with Joe Abercrombie that just came out, which people really liked. I was happy with that. People liked how it went. I think that the way we interviewed in the past to Joe Abercrombie, we learned a few things. I think with one, the nerves weren't there anymore, which is kind of cool because we were nervous when talking to like Brian McClellan back in the day, and
very.
I remember being so nervous for that.
Oh yeah, no, I was incredibly nervous, and the fact that we bungled the date, so we showed up late. Actually, no, we didn't show up at all for our assigned time because we thought it was the wrong day, and that felt awful.
That also felt awful. We scheduled poorly, but yeah. So we have for you, it's Dead House Gates number 10. For me, it's Blade Itself.
Yep. I would have put Blade Itself on my list if I didn't read it before that.
Because you read it before 2024. Yeah. Okay, what was your number 9 of the year?
Is a book that I actually read this month, Orconomics. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was great.
That's your most recent read too.
Other than Mushroom Blues,
Other
yes.
than Mushroom Blues, okay.
And Winded Truth, yes.
Oh, okay, never mind. But why
no.
did you like the Orconomics a bunch? It's a funny read.
It was a funny read, but I had very appropriate expectations of I was just going to have a nice little satire story. But for the people in our book club that we had about it, it had a surprising amount of heart, and a lot of the characters really got to me, and I got quite emotional by the end.
Damn.
And I'm really excited to read the next one.
Nice. I think we just had a spoiler-free review that's not posted yet, but you were telling me that if you like Kings of the Wild, if you like Dungeon Crawler Carl type of humor,
yeah. Also,
could
do
work.
you like The Big Short?
2008 financial crisis humor. Got it. So anybody that's an econ major or that went to college for you like finances, you might like that book.
This is, and I want to preface, and I talked about this in our video we filmed, hasn't been uploaded yet, but on first glance you go, oh, books satirizing capitalism. Okay, that's so new, so fresh, so brave. I get kind of bored of it. It's like, I get it. This was far more specific of a critique, and I thought it was incredibly well done. It wasn't just, companies are greedy. It's like, I get it. Duh. That's not creative or insightful. I thought this
goes a step beyond.
It goes a step beyond, which I appreciated.
That sounds like a fun number 9. You already convinced me to read it beforehand, so I will be joining you eventually.
What was your number 9?
My number 9 was Mistborn: The Final Empire. I read that for the first time this year, and Sanderson starts off strong with Mistborn. I don't think anybody that's listening to this right now, maybe you haven't read Mistborn, but I was very afraid that after having read Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, Oathbringer, one of my favorite books, all of his magnum opus, Stormlight Archive, going from that then to Mistborn, I was afraid that it would be a drop-off in quality, which no, it's not as good as the first 3 books of Stormlight. I got, if anybody wants to see, I have 5% left in Wind and Truth. I won't be spoiling anything. We'll have a very long review for that. But
yeah, I thought our Lonesome Dove one is the longest.
It's over 3 hours.
Yeah.
I wonder what your favorite book is this year. We'll find out. But Mistborn, I was afraid that I wouldn't like it as much, but it's a really great book. He just, I see why Harriet had him join for Wheel of Time, and great magic system, fun vibes,
best magic system that he's made.
Yes, great twist, and I don't want to say anything for the Spears in case people haven't read on, but just the magic system that he develops in each new book is also just cool.
Yeah. Definitely agree.
What did you have for number 8?
Number 8, I had The Will of the Many. Came out at 4.25 out of 5.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic book. Definitely is, if I have to pitch it really simply, hey, what if you like Red Rising, but you want to read a fantasy version of it? Check out Will of the Many.
And Academia Trope.
And also kind of Mexican standoff, like little pulled between multiple. It's good. It's real good. And also James Islington is definitely an author I've seen where his writing, his prose, and his style has greatly improved over every single book I've read of him.
He did Lucanus.
Yep. And that ending alone convinces me that The Will of the Many, his finale for it, will be amazing. I have the utmost confidence that he will land this plane. So, yeah.
Good. I have that on my list, but I shouldn't say because it's a little bit higher on my list, so I'll wait on that. You're saying your ratings too, so you give a 4, then 4.25 for Will of the Many?
Yep.
Mine for Blade itself, Mistborn, were 4.25. Also for my number 8 entry, it's a 4.25 star. The Gate of the Pharaoh Gods.
Yes.
Book number 4, so I have to be very light on this. I can't really say much, but book number 4 of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. It's my favorite of Dungeon Crawler Carl so far.
So good.
I can't say anything because it's 4 books deep, but I will say the series in general is such fun vibes. It is RPG, or not lit RPG, meaning it's a literature role-playing game where you have Carl and his now talking cat Princess Donut travel in this dungeon because aliens have invaded Earth, and they're putting humans in this spectacle for all the aliens to watch them play in their puppetry game as they try to fight through these dungeons. And by book 4 is where it just got me like, okay, I was having a fun time. Now I'm having a fun, and I'm very invested in everything you're doing. It's not just the dungeon. There's more to it than that. It's not just fun, like, ooh, stats going up, boom, boom, bing, bang. It's great.
Well, no, it satirizes that aspect of it. It's a really good system where he can have the lit RPG power leveling system, but then also gets to make fun of it. And there's all of this. There's the game itself, and then there's everything outside of the game, and that just amplifies it to another degree, which makes it fun.
Is exactly what I love about it. And I'm seeing here we have Kraken Code says DCC 7's amazing. We are going to read it, but only audio. So we're waiting for the audio to come out.
Jeff Hayes.
Gotta wait for our man.
Got it. He's carried me through this series. I gotta stick with him.
Samwise says, I will start Dungeon Crawler Carl if Austin and Rich agree to a Crime and Punishment buddy read. Samwise, you know why it's a good timing? This 2025, we're going to talk about our goals after this, our goals and what we have planned for 2025. Reading the classics is Cuban reached out to me, our patron and friend Cuban, he's in the chat here. He reached out and said, hey, I also want to read some classics. Let's do this. So we're going to try to read at least 4 classics in 2025. Okay. That can be one of them. Possibly.
Only 4?
Minimum 4. You know, it's just setting a goal. Okay? All right. And yes, we have Pride and Prejudice coming up. We're going back to the classics.
Yeah.
Now, Emily wants to explain lit RPG more. So, Rich, do you want to take it?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lit RPG is a genre where you take the video game mechanics of an RPG, role playing game. It is defined a lot by its leveling system. So characters power up by normally grinding, learning. There's typically levels, and so the higher they climb in levels, the more powerful they become. That is basically, I think, what the genre's defined as. And there's a lot of different types. I've heard that Cradle also is kind of lit RPG. I don't think it fits it exactly, but there's a bunch of other stuff like that. Dungeon Crawler Carl is my introduction and only example that I've read of lit RPG, but I really like it. So
it's a lot of video game terms, but it's not terms that would make that are any more difficult than if you read a sci-fi book and didn't know what those terms were. It's pretty accessible. I mean, I'm not the biggest gamer. I've gamed a lot more in the past, but it's terms that won't throw you off too much.
Cuban and I can't even. That's too small for me to read. Dakshay says Cradle is more progression fantasy. Fair enough. So lit RPG is a subgenre of progression fantasy.
Okay,
fair enough. Again, we're kind of the wrong people to read to talk about it because
that's our only lit RPG.
That one. So
also shout out David. He's been subscribed since 2,000 subscribers. Thank you, David. That's awesome. Wow, you liked our stuff back then. You are a warrior. And John says he would throw Crime and Punishment on the classics list.
Good.
It's got to be.
I'm excited. John and all of us, we're doing a Book of the New Sun read along with him and Rocky.
We're also reading his book.
And we're reading his book. We got to read that, I think, next.
Yeah,
right?
Before February.
Yeah.
Well, John, we are very excited. And so now we have, was that my number 8? And so we did your 8, my 8. Now we have your 7, right?
Yep.
Okay. What's your number 7 for
my number 7 is Children of Time.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Fantastic book.
Yeah.
I gave that one a 4.25 out of 5.
That low. That's sad. That's sad.
What'd you give it?
Well, it's higher on my list. You'll have to wait. You'll have to wait to find out. Okay.
But no, it is a fantastic book that shows you a new perspective, a new alien perspective that you don't often get. And you get to see not just, oh, it's an alien where it's human, but green skin and antennas. No, they have vastly different culture. You get to see how they develop with different value systems based on their biology and environment. It's brilliant. And also, I think, a very hopeful message by the end. So I do like a little bit of positive sci-fi.
Yeah. Get out of that Abercrombie grimness. Jesus. That was your number 7?
Yeah.
My number 7, I gave this a 4.5 star. So we're already in the 4.5 range. The Will of the Many. You already had the Will of the Many out there. I won't repeat too much of what you said other than it's academia and very much I guess the Red Rising stuff. Don't expect that fast-paced prose Darrow action. It's more so Roman setting. The magic system itself
it's also the infiltration type deal. That's the reason why I said like it's the
gets
Roman
there eventually, yeah.
plus like who he is and who he has to infiltrate us upper society. That's very Red Rising-esque.
Yeah, it's got the Roman vibes to it, and also one thing this does that Red Rising doesn't do as much is the main character. A lot of his, so very much opposite of Darrow. You find this out super early on, but Darrow is just kind of goes at it, very impulsive, whereas this character is more of a pawn. And there's a lot of different characters that are just using this character as a pawn. Our main protagonist, it gets pulled in all directions. The whole theme and you're trying to figure out is the will of the many. Basically, this magic system is where all of the people in this world feed into the magic system, give their will to people higher up in the pyramid. And there's a theme and message about whether our main character finds that right or wrong and what are the different motivations of people. But it goes a lot more, especially book 1 of Red Rising versus Will of the Many. There's more complexity to it.
Yeah, there's more complexity. And the thing that I'm most looking forward to in the book is I was most fascinated with James Islington's use of magic systems.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite aspects of his previous series is his magic system. Blew me away.
Yeah.
In Will of the Many, we get a taste of it, but we don't get a lot of what the magic system is. I am so excited for book 2, where we actually get to dive into the details of this magic system because we were barely introduced to it at the very end.
I think book 2 is called Strength of the Few. I think it's coming out 2025.
I think so. He's working. I believe he's already working on draft 1 of book 3.
Draft 1. Oh yeah.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken.
I like live views. We can just get corrected live.
Yeah.
We don't even need to worry about it.
Yeah. People on the live stream. That's great.
And for clarification, even though as much as I'm like Will of the Many is a spectacular book, it is still no Red Rising, of course.
I mean, maybe.
No, I mean, my number 1 book isn't half as good as Red Rising. Let's be honest.
I hate you.
I gotta stand by that. No. So, what is your 6th favorite book of the year?
I have the Butcher's Masquerade from Dungeon Crawler Carl series. That's book 6. I gave that one a 4.5 out of 5.
Finally up there.
Okay. I also had another Dungeon Crawler Carl books in there in my top 10, but I did remove it. This is my favorite one out of the bunch.
Awesome.
I think for 6 books, we were setting up this big climax coming to it. And this was one of those mini climaxes of the story. And I'm just so happy it actually delivered. It was probably the more emotional book of the series for me. It had a little bit of everything that I wanted. It especially had some moments that I was complaining about in books before of like, oh, I need more of this character. Well, I got more of that character. I'm being real vague, but I loved it. And so Dungeon Crawler Carl in my top 10. I'm so looking forward to it.
That was your 5th? Sorry.
6?
6. Top in your top 6 of the year.
My top 6 of the year.
Wait, Sophina, thank you for the donation, Sophina. We are going to be saying our favorite you asked our favorite book.
Coop. It's book 5. Thanks. That helps.
That is book 5, yes.
Yes. My bad.
Sophina says, what's our favorite book of 2024? We will be revealing that. We're on number 6 right now, and then we'll be getting to number 1. Thank you for donating. So also Titan, just a quick question, says Austin, wait until you read Demon in White to make statements like these.
In reference to Red Rising things, yeah.
Oh, well, nothing's better. Lord of the Rings trilogy pales in comparison.
Red Rising is your Blues Brothers, isn't it?
Yeah. So now here's my number 6. My number 6, I rated this a 4.5 stars.
By the way,
it is.
Oh,
yep.
I'm just answering this person's question real quick.
Yep.
Answer to your question, Hadrian. Hadrian over Glocta, I think.
I agree, and I love Glocta.
Awesome.
For me, questions Darrow or Dalinar. Which book? I'm gonna leave it at that. We have a lot to say later. So okay. Book, what was I on? Number 6? Okay, number 6. I gave this a 4.5 stars. This one was my favorite of the trilogy, The Hero of Ages.
A good one. A very good one. It's the end. Yes.
The end of
the series.
The first Mistborn trilogy, which cannot say much because, hey, not going to spoil Mistborn other than It's the most wrapped up in a present little bow with strings and it's just a Christmas gift because everything just makes sense at the end. You go, oh, even things that I didn't even notice in book one or thought I should have paid attention to in book one also was paid off. So it's a lot of paying off things you didn't even realize you needed in your life. And it was like, oh, this is great. And so it kept surprising me going, okay, I have all the reveals. Oh, there's another one. And it just showed Sanderson thought that through really well.
It shows that Sanderson really can deliver an ending to a series.
A lot of tension in this room. we have behind us.
Just let that one sit there.
We have 3 more Wind and Truth copies that were sent to us.
We got
because they sent them to us as ARCs, but we also bought others. And Andres, who we met at Dragonsteel, gave us a copy, which we're going to be doing a giveaway when we have the Wind and Truth review episode.
Yeah.
Vera's on my side today. Another good take. Also 4.5. Yes. Cosme Review says, damn. Just a capital damn. A pro tip for those in the comments here in live. If you type in all caps, I'll probably click it because I can read that better. So Cosme Reviews.
Don't do that. don't
if everyone types like Princess Donut, Carl! Carl! Okay, that was my number 6. So what is your number 5, Richard?
My number 5 is a reread, but I did think it was appropriate to put it on this list. Dune by Frank Herbert.
You reread that this year?
I reread it.
When?
Just for our review stuff.
That was last year.
I'm pretty sure I checked.
It was this year. It was 2023. The video came out this year, I think, but we read it last year. But I'll allow it. You're close.
I want to put it on the list anyway.
The only reason I know that is my rating sheet shows exactly when each book was finished.
Well, maybe I was late.
No, you're right. Okay, so Dune, you got to put it up there.
I wanted to put it on there. Just put it. I think I've read that book now like 3 times, and I think I could read it again. I love that book. It's such a good rereadable book, and so of course I have that one at a 5 out of 5.
5. Oh, so your top 5 here are all 5 out of 5s.
Yep.
Okay. You don't like giving those 4.75s, do you?
No, not very often.
You're either 4.5 or not. Boom. 5. Yeah. Okay.
I've not found too many like really spectacular books. They kind of floors me or not.
Oh wait, Andrew corrected me. That was February. We did read it in February. Oh, you know what, Rich?
I was right.
I stand corrected. Good. Damn.
I did read it late.
It just didn't hit my top 10. That's what it was. So it's honorable mention though. Real good book. No Red Rising. Okay. Number
sacrilege.
Now Austin, it was February. You ding dong. Okay, the caps lock. It's actually working. It actually is helping me read better. So
just
thank you. Thank
Zoom.
you for the caps.
Increase the size of your screen.
All right, we'll do that.
That's the volume button, dumbass.
Arm braces. By the way, my arms.
I got you.
Okay, we got.
I got you.
Thank you. Technical. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Only seen the Dune movie. Should I read it too?
Yes. Answer is yes.
Oh yeah. The book is better than the movies. Also, do you hear an echo or is that just me?
That's you.
Is that I unmute?
That was you unmuted yourself.
Fix that.
Okay.
Okay. Now my number 5. You did your number 5?
I did my number 5.
My number 5 is the one and only, and I said it first in this. Lonesome Dove.
Real low. Acceptable. It's on your top 10
Lonesome
list.
Dove. I teetered back and forth between. I started at 4.5 stars, then I went to 5 stars. I'm sitting at a 4.75 stars for Lonesome Dove. Absolutely spectacular book.
Acceptable score.
You know,
acceptable.
The 0.25 is because it's your favorite, and I'm like, I just felt bad agreeing too much. I'm like, nah, I get it. I gotta shave 0.25 just for the memes. Okay, so Lonesome Dove is I will not say too much because Richard loves it a ton. I'll give him a chance when he talks about Lonesome Dove, but I will just say one thing: some of the best characters I've ever read in a story. Period. Yeah. It was unreal.
Also of the community book clubs we've done on our Discord channel. That was my favorite one. That was one of my favorite discussions I've ever had with a group of people. Definitely changed my perspective and opened my eyes on seeing a new perspective on the book that I would not have had otherwise. So,
and that
was special to me.
You'll have your chance because it's up there for your top.
It's
picks.
Up there. It's on my list. Some can guess where it goes.
Yes. Over my arm, I know. Bella says biggest disappointment of the year for Bella. Whoa, was Lonesome Dove your biggest disappointment? I'm curious what if Bella's
what?
talking about that.
Oh
So
no, I
she-
think it's just asking what's our biggest disappointment of the year.
question. Oh,
I could say it.
It rhymes with Blando. All right. Anyways, we're gonna wait on that. Okay. Now, what is your number 4?
My number 4,
Yes.
Howling Dark by Christopher Rocchio. 5 out of 5. Ooh. Woo! Just what a series.
Yeah.
I can't say it's my favorite series yet because I haven't finished the series and like I'm only 3 books in, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be my favorite series ever. It's going to surpass. I kind of already know. There's other books that are like
this is the first time something could topple one of my favorite series. So it's got a chance.
I think you have the nostalgia, like just the emotional reaction of Red Rising. It's there. I know it's deep ingrained.
Yeah.
But you're gonna like read book after book of going like, oh
no, it's
like every single one is like better.
How's it getting? I start crying. Like, how is it getting better? I still want to say Red Rising's on. I can't do it anymore. Like, there's gonna be that melting point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I mean, that's been happening to me with like Storm. When I first read Stormlight, I had that moment of reading some other stuff of going like, I can't say Stormlight's the best anymore.
Hiking with Tom, get the hell out of our chat. None of that slander.
What is that? Hold on.
Leaving Red Rising in 2024. No, none of that.
Terrible.
Site says, hey guys, big fan of the channel since 2018. Been self-publishing novels on Amazon set, adult sci-fi. I wanted to know, what are your favorite themes in the sci-fi genre? Favorite themes? What makes a human is one of them.
Yep, that's always good.
Classic up there. I love Fire Upon the Deep is something that over time has just sat with me. So the more you talk about Fermi's paradox, I know 3 Body Problem gets in this, so I'm going to read that eventually. But Fermi's paradox, singularity, themes like that, I'm just going, okay, why don't we see aliens? What's that all about? And then the way sci-fi books are able to make logical reasons for why we shouldn't. It's just that fascinates me a lot. But what about you? Is it
I mean, I have a bunch of favorite things. I will say one of my newer developing favorite things from sci-fi is the exploration of culture clashes, specifically cultures that are so diametrically opposed, where they experience life differently, where like different creatures with different moral values.
Sun Eater?
It's Sun Eater. But no, there's other books that like Children of Time also do this as well, and how these kind of cultures interact and clash, because I think it turns a real human concept up to 11 so it's making an extreme example to make a point, and I find that really interesting.
Yeah.
Also, I like hopeful sci-fi.
You are becoming an optimist. This whole pod can't work if you come more to my side on that.
But like, I would have put up here, it could have been my top book of the year, but it was my top book of the last year.
What was that?
Which was Project Hail Mary. That is one of my favorite sci-fi books. I wish I read it in January, but I think I read it in December of last year.
Just missed the cut. Okay.
Or last year.
That was your number 4 for Howling Dark?
Yep.
And that was yours? 5 stars? Good.
5 stars.
My number 4 is a 4.75 star. I like using that sometimes, American Gods. And I know this didn't hit your top 10 because you did read it this year, but American Gods came out of nowhere for me. I didn't think it would be something I would like, but I believe it was Murdy. Correct me if I'm wrong in the live chat. Any of the patrons that are here, I think it was Murdy that picked out the book because she'd been to the area. What was it called again? The that wacky house on the hill. No, what was it called?
Isn't it House on the Rock?
House on the Rock.
Yeah,
super cool. But American Gods, again, without spoiling anything, it's Neil Gaiman's take on came out like 2000. So it transports you to America in early 2000, and it gives his take on what America is, what makes America America, but does that through using these American gods. So it uses things like the internet and not social media yet, but what people worship and just how that affects American society. But it does it in a way with this main character, Shadow, who's just a funny, passive character, who's a literal shadow. And that's why his name's Shadow. But he's just a really funny, dry humor throughout the book, has that British humor to it. But by the end of it, had me going, wow, he really I think it didn't win the Hugo, but it won some big award for something. And
didn't it win the Nebula?
Maybe.
Anyway.
But very cool if you're looking for like a philosophical take on something interesting about America. And we have Faisal Asan donated. Thank you so much. Said your general silliness is greatly appreciated. I've caved and started Red Rising series, enjoying it so far. You know what? You're greatly appreciated for starting Red Rising. And thank you for the compliment. That's very, very nice. And Cuban confirmed, yes, it was Murdy. Awesome. And it was House on the Rock. Sweet. But yeah, American Gods, if you guys want to check out something like that, I highly recommend. But what about you for your number 3?
Before we get to that, I'm just gonna answer this person's question real quick. What were my thoughts of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn? I liked the first book well enough. I think the second book is a waste of pages. It was real boring and nothing happens. And the third book, I was in the wrong space to enjoy it. I was like on death's door while listening to the book, and I don't think I can enjoy it that way.
You were literally in death's door.
Yeah, so that was not the right time to appreciate it, but it's damn long, and I didn't. The main thing is I didn't like the world building. I didn't get into the world, and that's most of the book. You need to really be invested in the world, and if you aren't, you're not going to enjoy that book, that series. But I'm willing to give it another shot. Well, actually, it's so long. I don't know if I want to give it another shot.
Reread all
immediately. I have other things to read.
And I have to shout out here. Gopher says currently reading Sword of Kaigen. Oh yeah, and we have my friend made me read it. Oh my god, my copy of Sword of Kaigen comes Thursday. Yes, we on Instagram. She was saying how she started reading it and finally caved in as well to start reading Sword of Kaigen. We're getting a lot of people on that train.
Good.
It's very good. That is not on this year's list because we didn't read it in 2024, but that would be on the all-time list, which we will do eventually. But for 2024, I would have to say my number. You did your number 3? No, you didn't. You paused before you answered a question. So go. What was your
your number 4?
I did. American Gods. Okay. So what's your number 3?
My number 3 is The Lions of Al Rasan.
Oh, baby.
Another 5 out of 5 book. Amazing story. Oh, God. All of the comments and people talking to us about, Guy Gavriel Kay being such an influence and his level of prose. If you're looking for a master of the craft of writing, you got to read some Guy Gavriel Kay. I now completely agree. He's a master and definitely has one of the best endings I've ever read in a book. This ending turned a 4 out of 5 book to a 5 out of 5.
6.
Yeah, like I was like, hey, this is really great. Really enjoying this. This is an awesome book. And then the ending just blew me away. So, fantastic story, fantastic ending, great themes, great discussion that we had. Loved it.
Kendall supports. Yeah, I don't think the lowest rating in the book club was like a 4.75 or 4.5.
Yeah,
it was. That was the lowest.
Yeah, it's real hard to dislike that book.
It is.
It's real hard.
My number 3, this is also a 4.75 star for me. Higher than what you gave it. Children of Time.
There we go.
We had a couple which overlap. We do read mostly the same books.
Yeah.
So a lot are going to overlap. But Children of Time for me was, as you said, the culture you get to see with this. It's not a spoiler because you find this out chapter 1. Spidey Society. Spiders. And the spider human point of views you get in this book. And as you hinted at, it's more uplifting sci-fi, but don't want to stay away from it. It mixes some genres. You get some horror in here. You get you get more of a horror feel, and you also get that uplifting nature. It talks about, I guess a theme of it would be the prisoner's dilemma. And what really got me with Children of Time, the base concept of, it's hard to explain in like a minute because we tried to on the review. I think we did it well there. It's just hard to repeat that,
Sure.
I'm gonna butcher this, but Children of Time takes place where humanity far in the future is terraforming other planets. And as they're terraforming other planets, there's this one society who is trying to send down monkeys to planets to spawn and evolve new humans on these different planets far, far, far away from Earth and terraform other planets to spread life. So evolve monkeys super quick with this type of drug, whatever, that inserts into their DNA and lets them evolve super quickly so that we can expand across the galaxies. And this other society doesn't like that. They're like, no, that is not natural. We don't want that at all. This is all chapter 1. And so they stop these terraforming planets all throughout the galaxy and the universe, and they revolt. They cause this revolution.
It sends humanity back to the Dark Ages.
Literally Dark Ages. So what we get the point of view from this character who's terraforming this planet, sending the monkeys down. The monkeys get destroyed. Instead, the nanovirus gets sent down to the planet
the virus that's supposed to hyper evolve monkeys actually hyper evolves spiders. Spiders now are going to run the world.
Yeah, so we get that, and then meanwhile, back on Earth was sent back to the Stone Age, and they have to. This is thousands and thousands of years later. Humanity re-evolves. This is still like early book stuff. I promise. Humanity re-evolves back on Earth. Not re-evolves, but goes back to the Stone Age and goes through culture again. Thousands of years pass. They find out the ancient Earth Society, which went around, was trying to terraform planets, and there ended up being this galactic civil war. They discover this, and they discover that
they're also
Earth,
going through the same thing again.
And they discover that Earth itself, as a result of that galactic civil war, thousands and thousands of years ago, Earth is dying because of the ice caps are melting, and getting the toxicity is coming to Earth from that ancient war. And there's more to it. You know what? That's all we can get here. But basically, now these Earthlings are now going out into space to see what old humanity wanted at the point. And now the whole thing is there's a spider society there, and humans who have re-evolved are now going out, and what happens you will see from there. But Children of Time, just to give you that, to try to get you grounded for the fact that the book's insane, and I loved every moment of it. So Rich, that's why it's my number 3. Just I'm a book fan of concepts. I just like when you got a concept and you just execute it. Like, oh, you baffle me. Like, how did you even think of that? A lot of books I read this year did that for me.
I'm gonna answer this.
Yes.
I'm gonna be answering that shortly.
Okay.
As soon as a book comes up, I'll answer that. So wait patiently.
Okay. Well, what is your number 2, Richard?
My number 2, and actually, here's the answer that he hasn't read yet. It's Demon in White. I mean, an exception. I put 2 books from the same series on this list.
That's not fair.
Demon in White, 5 out of 5, floored me. It's not only my top 10 books, I think it's in my top 5 books of all time. I love this book. It's one of those things of, I've never read a better paced book.
Oh.
Like, perfect pacing. Every chapter feels so essential. The emotional moments hit all the harder. One of the most bombastic, drop your jaw endings I've ever read in a book. It slaps. Is what it does. It slaps. It does everything I wanted from book 2 and amplifies it. So I just have to say, awesome.
How does it get better?
How
does it get better?
Half mortal. Woo!
Mortal.
Demon in White is amazing, and that's the best book that you haven't read yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm literally starting after I finish Wind of Truth.
Good.
So it'll be very soon. It's that and John's book, John Jacob and their book. So fantastic number 2. I wonder what your number 1 is.
I wonder.
My number 2 is on a similar vein. I haven't read Demon in White yet, but Howling Dark, and 5 out of 5 stars. Rich, you already had Howling Dark on your list. You explained it well, but Howling Dark, Sun Eater in general, it has a chance to be my favorite series as well. If it keeps up this 5 out of 5 starness,
I think you're gonna have to next book. You're just gonna you can't keep giving me. You can't do 2 5-star books right back to back and then not give it like its due diligence. You got to give it its due.
Exactly. Okay. What's your number 1 book of the year, Rich?
Yeah, my number 1's Lonesome Dove. I loved it. It's my favorite book I've ever read. Period. Bar none. We talked about it briefly with Austin here, and it's one of our longest book. I think it is our longest book review that we've ever recorded. So that's coming out at some point. I don't know when.
It's over 3 hours.
It's over 3 hours.
Vera at one point said, "Poor Nick."
Yeah.
Like the Cactus Shots Pikachu face. Lonesome Dove's your favorite. Wow.
I know.
You don't talk about it ever. Andrew says, "Lonesome Dove, let's go."
Yep.
It's your favorite ever. How would you say for people, maybe they're just hearing this for the first time, the rare person that hasn't heard you push down their throats, what would you say to get them to pick this up right now? It's your favorite book ever.
do you want to see what the pinnacle of what's the pinnacle that the Western genre can actually give you? Do you want the most heartfelt, realistic, or realized characters you've ever read before in your life? Then to also make you reflect on the nature of death and how you should navigate your own life. It's brilliant. Brilliant character work, and I think it doesn't glorify the West, but it definitely puts you into this kind of, it's not dystopia, but it's a harsh world, and it's a wonderful world to step yourself into.
I love your passion for. I love the book too.
Also, the names are great. One of the characters' name is Jake Spoon.
Woodrow Call.
Like, they're all so good. One character's name Newt. I love it. Some of the best written prose also I've ever read. The dialogue is second to none. So yeah, read the book. It's required Rambler reading material. Required reading.
Required. John is very upset. I'm reading Demon White same time as his book because Scott makes a good point. Where's Fourth Wing on this list?
Higher than worse. I've read worse books this year.
No, it goes above our favorite. It goes, you know how it goes 10 through 1? That's our 0th.
Yeah.
It's
that's
zero. It eclipses the rating system. You got people wanting to read Lonesome Dove. Look at all these. Okay, this is awesome.
How would I describe? Here's another comment here. How would I describe the writing style Lonesome Dove?
Yes, how would you?
If I were to describe it, it is, imagine a classic Western narrator style, but the characters are kind of narrating their lives. It feels like what you're talking around a campfire. The actual dialogue is layered with subtext, and no character really says what they mean all the time. Characters are not really self-aware, but you as the reader can interpret it. It's hard to say, but it feels like a Western, if that helps at all.
We also have a question here from John. Lonesome Dove versus First Law character work, are they really comparable? I'd say real quick, when talking to Abercrombie, he said Lonesome Dove is one of his favorite books. Yeah. And you see where the inspiration comes from. Personally, I would say Lonesome Dove does have some of those best characters. Like, to me, First Law characters, Lonesome Dove, they're both like 5 stars. They're both incredible, but for different reasons.
They
Very
are
different reasons.
I would still give the edge to Lonesome Dove. Of course, it's my favorite book, but they're both really great.
They are, yes. And the thing that Lonesome Dove does that at least the First Law can't, even in the trilogy, Lonesome Dove works with way more characters. So with First Law, you get in the heads of 6, mainly 3, and you really get to know them. They're all fantastic characters. Lonesome Dove, you feel that, but with like 20. So it's spread out more. So maybe you can feel more connected to Glocta because you get in Glocta's head. Lonesome Dove, it's more, you get this epic Western with a lot of characters, and you get to spend a lot of time with a lot of people, but also not as much because comparative advantage.
Yeah,
being in time. Less characters more. So yeah. How disappointing was Wind and Truth? Well, this is not that review quite yet. We're gonna keep teasing on that. Nope, that did.
We haven't recorded it yet. We're recording it next week.
Also, Rich and I we talked a little bit about it, a little more than we should have.
Look, spoilers, I guess. It's not our favorite.
It's not our favorite.
It's not knocking us out of the park. We'll go into further details.
Well, we'll see. I've still got 5% left on the audiobook.
How long is that, like hours wise?
Like I'll be done. Drive home. A little bit more. It should be done quick. Yeah. So now my number 1, and then we can get on to some more 2025 stuff before we have to head out. My number 1 book of the year. 245. Cool. My number 1 book of the year. It surpassed Howling Dark, 5 stars. It was actually Richard's number 3. The Lions of Al Rassan. The Lions of Al Rassan, to me, Rich said this, and I don't think this can ever be topped. It's one of those books you read, and the ending is a literal perfection, actual perfection. To me, the same thing. I was reading the book thinking, this is great. It was fun. You get these two main characters who are these magnetic aura. What else are the kids saying? Riz Lords. All these two characters who are just the bastion of manhood. And you see them come from these opposite sides of a war and their interactions with each other, which eventually leads to, this is not a spoiler at all, too. I just try to be very careful with those because I know people are very sensitive to them. But the ending is bittersweet to perfection. So if you like a bittersweet ending where, hey, it's not just happy, it's not just sad, but it gives you both perfectly. And if anybody knows, those are the endings I love. I love ambiguous endings. I love bittersweet endings. And it does that to literal literature perfection because it's Chekhov's gun perfectly. It's cool. It's got like awesome scenes where you're going, ooh. And then it also is thought-provoking because it makes you think and sit. And I devour that. It's juicy. And Kendall, I think that's one of Kendall. She's the one that got us to read Lions of Alderson. Thank you for that. That was one of our book club books. They've gotten us to read some of our favorites this year.
Oh, I know.
And thank you all because we cherish these now. And is Lions behind me? Do we have it up? Because if not,
I don't know.
We need to reorganize the bookshelf and have I know books we like. I don't know why Wheel of Time's still behind me. That's just upsetting. We need to move that to your side.
Yeah, probably.
But those are our top 10 reads of the year. I do want to say this because we'll try to get to some comments before we have to go. But for 2025, just to get people a little bit of recap and a little bit what's to come. 2025, Rich, what do you have goals for the channel, for yourself, as far as as far as book stuff goes? What are your goals?
I mean, in general, read more. I intend to read more than 4 books a month is my general goal.
Great.
Which I think is reasonable to do. For the channel, I hope that I want to strike big. I hope we get to 100,000 subscribers by the end, December, by the end of this coming year. So, yeah,
I like that. Great goal because we have to push for that.
I know we got to push. I like that. It's fun. But other than that, I'm kind of enjoying doing what we're doing.
Yeah,
I got personal goals, but that's not relevant to the YouTube stuff. So,
yeah, you're right. Want to get personal?
No.
Okay. So just a hint of sincerity there, and let's throw that out there. I like that for a channel goal. For my goal as well, I have this actually written out of each book, or I have it on my spreadsheet. 52 books is my goal for the year, a book a week, and I want to surpass that. I actually have so Nicole, to keep me accountable with this, if I miss my goal, I told you this, so this is what I'm doing. So if I miss my first goal, where if I don't get book in a week per year, I have to wear a turtleneck for a week. I don't like turtlenecks.
If you don't know,
I don't like turtlenecks.
Austin's weird.
I really don't like turtlenecks.
I didn't know how weird he was.
It's so scratchy on your neck.
He has a problem with clothes.
It looks like a sci-fi, like it's weird.
Just any kind of slightly
trying to bend your neck,
slightly less than perfectly soft clothes, he just can't stand it.
I feel like I'm like, in a display store, and I'm just like, the turtleneck makes it look like you don't have a neck, and you're just popping out literally like a turtle. It's slimy.
Comfy. It's like a hug.
It's
like a hug, but from your shirt.
But after to see blood spot under your neck too, Cuban, stop it. Don't make good points. Okay, but then if I miss the second week, then she's gonna give me a shot like with nothing in it.
He's also scared of needles.
I'm deathly afraid of needles. And then if I miss a third week, I'm gonna get an IV. And with nothing in it, not drugs, I swear. But if I miss that many times, I am definitely afraid of needles, definitely afraid of IVs.
If you do have to do that, let me know, and we're gonna make use of that IV.
We're not filming that.
No, we're not gonna film it.
Okay.
No, we're gonna get absolutely plastered, and then you could use the IV to recover from the hangover.
Okay.
That way, you actually can use the IV. That's a reason to actually use the IV.
I don't want to celebrate me missing my goal, though. By getting.
It's not.
That would be suffering.
Drinking a lot for you is not celebration. That's just suffering.
That's also true.
But don't worry, I'll make sure to bring over the least caloric alcohol possible. We're just going to slam tequila the entire time. No chasers, no drinks, no sugar, just straight tequila.
I'm with it.
Okay.
Scoundrel says nothing makes reading more fun than fear. Hell yeah. Oh, this is great. So that's my goal. But also, so for writing goals that we can get into later as well. But I also, since it is the last recap we have of the year, as a recap for how the channel went in 2024, big events for us. What do you feel is the standout?
I mean, the standout was going to Dragonsteel and meeting everyone, meeting so many of our patron members that came there. All the people that are viewing our channel came up to us, said hello. It was awesome. And then in addition to that, met Christopher Rocchio, one of my favorite authors ever.
Hung out with John Jacob all day.
John and Jacob, new friends. It's great.
Marty and Jaden. We saw Bookborn, Daniel Green, all the friends that we had. We actually have a video coming out where we talk all about Dragonsteel, and just basically it's us bragging about the friends we had there and just all the fun. So it was so cool.
Yeah,
that has to be the standout.
I think so. Yeah.
Above that, being able to interview Joe Abercrombie.
Yeah, that was huge.
That was so cool.
That was big for us.
And I think we found Ali as well, but that's coming out a little bit later. So cool authors to talk to, or that we've talked to. I also have here one of the let me get back to my notes. Yeah, another big standout for me was Wind and Truth. Just today, we got ARCs. Well, technically not ARCs.
We got review copies.
After we paid
ungodly amount of money
to travel there, buy the books. I was like, oh, they did send it to us. That was kind of cool. we have like 3 extras.
Better late than never, I guess.
That was fun, right?
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
It was neat. But for anything else in the channel over there, any other comments, any other ponderings, musings, thoughts?
More books. And I would also like to join you on the classic stuff. It'd be good.
Awesome. Okay, so for our last 5 or so minutes here, we'll get to questions. I know we had our top 10 list. We didn't get to as many questions this time, but we will pull them up now. Let's see. What do we got here? And we, of course, have to always end with a very insightful question to end the thing. We have Alex asking, when, if, are you going to review Song of Ice and Fire series?
I don't want to, but probably eventually will. I just don't want to do it. Like, the more people push, the more I don't want to.
I want to do it.
I don't.
I'll push you to do it then.
Bookborn gave me the best push toward it. Like,
she did.
Maybe I'll do it because she insisted. Other than that, no. I don't want to. But maybe we will.
You know why I like it? Even though the last book isn't out, at least the last book can't disappoint you, you know?
Yeah, that's true. The last book of the series.
I'm not talking about any other series that came out.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about A Song of Ice and Fire. You know?
Yeah.
So at least, even if it's not, at least you can imagine a better ending, right?
That is true. Maybe it's better to just leave something unanswered rather than a incredibly disappointing ending.
Food for thought. Lordana says, will you read the second book in Greenbone Saga?
Yes, I will be doing that fairly shortly.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Yes, but not fairly shortly for me. Unless you tell me to make it more urgent. We have a question from Gabriel. Says, love the Joe Abercrombie interview. I might have missed it, but are you guys going to continue with standalones or Age of Madness? Yes. Yeah, definitely.
I already continued on with the first standalone, but I'm waiting for Austin to continue. Though I may not wait because Austin didn't like the first trilogy, so I may just continue on without him. But I will also, I saw a comment pass through there, but I will continue on with Malazan as well.
Nice. Mina asks, any books that you've read that are similar to Red Rising, other than Will the Many? I need something to hold me until Red God. Other than Will the Many, what would you say?
Okay, it's not similar to Red Rising. It's just better, but Sun Eater. Do that. Sun Eater. It's not the same.
I wouldn't go in with those expectations, exactly.
First, give it first 2 books. Read the first book and go, yes, it's different. It's not it, but give it a second shot. And Coop, why are you giving us $2? Why are you doing
when
that?
Are you reading Goblin Emperor? He should be giving us more. He has the privilege of admitting on the Discord.
$2?
That's it,
bastard.
You should pay us for your time.
He's our admin.
When are we reading Isn't that Levy's favorite book, Goblin Emperor?
Yeah. No, I think Coop plans on reading it at some point, but it's Levy's favorite.
Okay, I will.
Coop kind of likes it.
I will jump on
because of Levy.
No, it's Levy's favorite. Yeah. No, Coop kind of likes it.
Yeah.
He says, thanks, guys. Of course. John asks, I'm at the second standalone too rich if you want to team up. Hey,
there you go.
Hey.
Okay.
I'll have to catch up to you guys then. I'll just push back your book, John. Read that back next year. That'll be next year's recap. My friend says, should I join your Patreon? Everybody should join, and don't participate in the book clubs. Just give the money. Don't take the perks. Okay. Yeah. Use it like a gym membership. Sign up. Don't
say hi,
leave,
and then forget about it.
Just keep that credit card rolling. We're going to our book club in 5 minutes. I hope most don't go. Actually, it will be cool. We have the author Adrian Gibson coming on the chat, so this is a cool opportunity where we get to, the author will be there where people can ask the author questions, and that'll be a cool time. Yeah. So, which I guess we should end with one last thing before we get into the book club. Rich, what you wearing today? Let's get those out. Oh no,
nothing.
Oh, is that you hobby? Did you do that last month too?
No.
I got classic orange rims, long socks, gray on gray. That's all I got today. Nice and cozy socks.
Yeah, little 2025 or a little late Christmas present. Free feet pics in this economy.
He says for free toes for free feet. Yes. Okay. We've cultivated the right community.
If you don't happen to know, that's apparently a thing we're doing now for lives, is showing our socks.
I don't know how it started the first time, but I'm glad it did. We're just teasing up Gonzalez fans. Okay, we're gonna go ahead to the book club. We will see. Hey, patrons, we'll see you all there. Thank you everybody for tuning into the live, our top 10 list. What our video, I think this next Monday will be a Fonda Lee interview.
Yes.
So very cool.
It was a great time.
Yes. Rich, anything to end us with?
I don't know. Go read more books. I don't want to say, like, read Sun Eater and read Lonesome Dove, and you're going to be off to a great time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Did you want to end, or me, or
I don't know. I think it'll run the thing.
Okay.
Let's try it out.
End stream.
Just it'll play.